Okay, folks, it's Mike. Hey, thanks for dialing in and joining me today, as this is the third part of our series this week on my 20-step survival guide for Atlanta area agents. I created this because I know so many of you are passionate, are dedicated, are committed, and sometimes you feel a little stuck. Like, I want to generate business. I'm not quite sure how or what's the best way to do it. So I put together a 20-step survival guide. I hope you're taking notes on this. If you're not, each of these calls is recorded via video and hosted on my group page on Facebook at The Path to 20 Million. Okay? And if you will implement these 20 steps in your business, I will guarantee you that you can accomplish any goal you set. Whether that's 10 transactions a year, 100, or you can actually leverage this and go on to generate hundreds of transactions a year in your business. You just increase the intensity of the actions. And I can help you with that. But for right now, let's do a real short recap of the steps that we've covered on Monday and Tuesday of this week. The critical importance of having and utilizing a CRM in your business, a customer relationship management tool, a database. You call it anything your little heart desires, but it will be the most valuable thing you own one day if it is complete, it's robust, and you're using it. The critical importance of having a target audience in your business, a niche, an area of focus. Again, you can call it anything your little heart desires, but you've got to be able to answer the most important question in your business. Who is going to buy and sell homes from you this year? And you need to be able to answer that question so specifically that you could actually enter all of those people into a database. If you can't enter people into a database, like if you say, well, first-time home buyers, I'll say, well, great, just enter them all into a database. Well, see, now you're stuck. Then it's not narrowly defined enough. A little old school, but we talked about the importance of a monthly newsletter showing up in your target audience's mailbox every month and making it uniquely personal to you. Don't tell me what to plant in my garden this fall. Tell me what's going on in the world around me and create some personal connection. Get hyper-local with me as much as possible. We talked about the value of creating quarterly events in your business. We talked about the value of networking, that I think that each of us that say we're a full-time real estate professional ought to be attending one networking event a week. Now, I grant that in today's world, networking might take on a more virtual component, but still actively participating in at least one per week. We also talked about the importance of having a coach. Every great athlete has one. Tom Brady is debatable, I guess, but a lot of people would say he's the greatest football quarterback of all time. And he has a coach. Michael Jordan had a coach. LeBron James has a coach. Do you? And has that coach been there and done that? And is it at a one-on-one level with you, or is it big box? The incredible importance of having a written weekly schedule. In today's world, establishing 30-day goals and a strategy to accomplish those goals. Throw those yearly goals out the window now. Everything's changed, and we need to focus in 30-day increments. Daily practice sessions. How important it is to grab 5 to 10 minutes several times a day and practice with yourself, with a family member, or with a colleague. Handling objections, handling the common things that come up reoccurring in your business all the time so that you become the best of the best in handling them. And then the last part that we've already covered this week, how important the team around me is. And I don't mean team like all this other bullshit that's going on in our industry these days. I mean a team of professionals, a great lender, a great personal attorney, a great closing attorney. My accountant may be the most important person in my life, a great home inspector, a great photographer. This team of professionals around me make me look good. Today I want to add a couple different points to you. First, I want to add two things that kind of work together. your personal website and your mobile app. Look, in my opinion, and I think I'm right about this, Zillow shouldn't even exist. Zillow exists for one reason and one reason only, because as an industry, we refuse to change with the times and allow customers to browse for homes on their own. We wanted to be the gatekeepers of the information, and we didn't want that to change. And Zillow came along and said, no, we think people want to shop for homes at home, at their kitchen table, or sitting on their couch, on their iPad or their laptop, and we're going to give them a means to do that. And the real estate industry said, no, they need to find a real estate agent. The agent will find the homes for them. And the consumers agreed with Zillow. So now my goal is to get the customer off of Zillow, off of Realtor.com, off of all these other platforms, and get them to use my platform where I'm the only agent that appears there. So I want to push people to my website so they can browse for homes. That's what people want to do. They don't want my website for the weather forecast. They don't want it for the schools report. They don't want it for a list of activities going on in the community. They want it to browse for homes. And they would prefer to do it on their phone as much as possible. So I want to have a good mobile app, and I want to be sharing this with all of my prospects. I want to give them different ways of shopping for homes that is branded to me, and not where 3 other agents pop up on the screen every time they pick a home to look at. Okay, next in my 20-step survival guide, a daily call campaign. Now look, that can be for sale by owners. I contend that if you're a professional real estate agent, full-time, you really are going to have a hard time helping me understand why you're not talking to people that put a sign in their yard that says they want to sell their home when you sell homes in that area. You've got to have a conversation with them. They're going to change their mind. Statistically, only 7% of them are going to be successful getting their home sold. 93% won't be able to do it. I like your odds, but you've got to have a conversation with them, and you've got to put them on an effective follow-up campaign. But daily call campaigns aren't just for sell by owners or expired listings. It can be just listed, just sold calls around your inventory or the inventory in your office. All listings within a brokerage are owned by the brokerage, which means that all agents in that brokerage can claim that listing. So if another agent in my company lists a property at 123 Main Street, I'm going to call all the neighbors around it and say, we just listed another home in your neighborhood. We just sold another home in your neighborhood. Daily call campaigns can also be to, and should be, to my sphere of influence, so that I stay connected to them, top of mind, so that when they do encounter somebody that says they want to buy or sell a home, my person in my sphere of influence goes, oh, well, you got to talk to Mike. Why? Because I'm very top of mind with them. Why? Because I stay connected to them all the time. Another way that I can stay connected to them, see, I'm just going to give you idea after idea. I hope you're jotting these down, because don't come to me and say, oh, I don't know what to do, because I'm not going to accept that. Not after this week. Another way of staying connected and top of mind with my sphere of influence is every week I want to create a 60-second or less video message. And then I want to send it out via email to everybody in my database. And I want to do that every week. Now, every message every week doesn't have to be about real estate. It can be about a great business that I encountered. I just saw a couple of the agents in our office just did one to promote a local restaurant. That's great. You know, you're not a restaurant reviewer. You don't want that to be all the time, but you sprinkle it in. Hey, I want you to meet the guy that owns my dry cleaning store that I patronize. This restaurant I've always admired and enjoy. Yeah, here's what's going on in the real estate market. Look at this great house I sold. Now let me take you back to another business in the community. Every week, I want a 60-second or less video message that I send out via email to everybody in my database, and I'll also post it on my social media sites. Okay? Now, I'm going to finish up today with my last point. An annual calendar. Yeah, I know, I want you to have a weekly schedule in writing, but I also want you to plan the year out in advance as much as possible. And this year, that whole plan would be totally screwed up, right? But we're trying to plan and organize our activities. How much time off do I want to take next year? And when do I want to take it? Or am I the mediocre real estate agent that goes, oh, I just do it whenever I feel like it, whenever the fancy strikes me, whenever there's something I want to do? And I go, yeah, who runs their business like that? Nobody. Nobody outside of real estate runs their business like that. Everybody else plans it out. And you take into account when your peak season is, when your harvest is going to be, and you try to plan it out as best as possible around personal agendas and professional requirements, right? Okay, we're building towards the 20 step. So join me tomorrow. We're going to finish it up. And this is Mike, and I'm urging you, go out there and make it happen for yourself today.